Montgomery County Councilmembers held a special work session this week to learn the facts behind a 911 outage that occurred last month. Susan Kenedy reports.
So the notion that 100 people in their most frightened moment and life-threatening moment could not reach out for help, it just can never happen again.
I usually have one recurrent nightmare, and this is the one. It's when I'm trying to call 911 and I can't get through. And so obviously, as you have already expressed, this is extreme concern for all of us here in the county.
Those were just a few of the concerns expressed by council members after an overview of what went wrong on July 10th when the county's 911 system went down. The outage occurred after an air conditioning unit that served the county's backup system failed, which caused a complete failure of the service. Officials were on hand to outline the details of the failure, and council members wanted to know how to keep citizens safe in case it happened again.
But everybody should have either programmed in their phone or somewhere on display in their homes to ask that number so that they have it immediately. If they dial 911, don't get an answer, that those are the next numbers they call.
However, Councilmember Craig Rice was not sure that was the best solution to the problem.
I think to myself, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm upstairs in bed, my cell phone is downstairs, the refrigerator is downstairs, I'm picking up my home telephone that I still have and calling 911 if there's an emergency, if I think there's somebody breaking in my house, if my house is on fire. What we immediately train people is to get out of the house as quickly as possible in those kinds of instances, not to go look at a refrigerator and call a backup number.
In all, there were 256 calls that were made to 911 during the outage, but Bill Ferretti says that number is not a true representation of the average number of calls for that particular time of day.
For instance, if you were calling and you called 5, 6, 7, 8 times, there's 8 calls right there. So that number we know is inflated. So that's why we looked at a comparable number 2 weeks earlier to try to get a realistic idea of what would be the norm.
In Rockville, I'm Susan Kenedy for County Report This Week.